Hey everybody, I just got out of A Quiet Place. Comes out this week. And initial reaction, my first word that comes to mind, intense.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Movies Over Coffee. I am Jay of the J. Craig. A Quiet Place is intense. It is nonstop, heart pounding, relentless intensity. It's emotional and sad and just, it's quick and it's good. A Quiet Place is the sound of awesome. Now, John Krasinski. John, I know he doesn't like being called Jim from The Office anymore. And right now, quite frankly, now you're just John because you made an awesome movie, sir. Congratulations to Mr. John Krasinski on making a fantastic movie with his wife, Emily Blunt. I'm not a horror movie fan, typically. I like a good movie, a horror movie that's going to be more about intensity and suspense and, this kind of horror movie is my cup of tea. It's not about gore and violence and the excessive blood and guts. A Quiet Place does not have that, but it has everything a horror movie should have. So what's A Quiet Place about? It's what I love about this movie is it doesn't explain anything. It just puts you right into it. There's no exposition. There's no precursor on what transpired to put our characters in the place they are right now. Bam! It just puts you right in there. And I think we're like 3 months into this, whatever happened. And so the very first shot of the movie is the city streets, and everything's abandoned, and obviously there's no one living anymore around. So it starts off just throws you right in the middle of it. I love that. Let you kind of figure it out. And you know what? It doesn't matter what happened. These characters in this situation, and now we're gonna watch them and see what happens. Never has so much been said without any words. I mean, there is so much communicated in this movie without dialogue. And while there is a little bit of dialogue in the movie, it's all communicated. It's all on the screen for you to see. Everything's there. The emotion, the interactions, the character. It's all there without having to have the words. True, they use sign language, and there's some subtitles for the sign language, so people like you and I can understand it. But there's so much more emotion coming out of that. It's so well done. But what is it about? It's about a family who is surviving a post-apocalyptic monster invasion. We'll call it that, okay? And they have to be silent. They cannot make a noise because these creatures live their hearing is what attracts them. They're blind, so they go right to whatever is making noises. So they have to live silently. And so you see that they're walking on sand, and everything that they have has felt on the bottom of it. So if they put something down on the table, they're not making a lot of noise, right? So it's about their survival, and there's not an intricate story going on here. This is a movie just simply about survival. It's about growth, and it's about fatherly love. It's about what a father would do for his children and how far he'll go. There's a line in the movie, and I think it's in the trailer, so there's no spoiler there unless you haven't seen the trailer. Emily Blunt says to John, what are we if we can't protect our children? And that's essentially what the story is about. What will you do to protect your children? And it's well done in that regard. So that's the story. There's not a lot to it. It's an hour and a half. It's a quick movie, and that's what the story is. Let's talk about the characters for a second. There's only 4 characters in this movie. There's the mother and the father and the 2 kids, and the kids have amazing growth in this movie. I mean, they really are the ones who have the arcs. The John and Emily, the father and mother, I wouldn't say that they have arcs because it's their job. Their job is to protect their children, and their job is to, survive. And it's essentially what they're doing. So there's not a lot of growth for them because they essentially start where they end. But there is some growth, I would suppose, I guess, but it's not as critical as the children's growth. Okay. One aspect that I found fascinating that started the movie off was the idea that in this kind of environment, in this world, kids can't be kids. You can't have fun. You can't run. You can't play. You can't laugh. I mean, what kind of life is that for a kid, right? And I thought that was a fascinating angle to start the movie. One thing that I was incredibly impressed by was the progression of the story and how the protagonists were going to figure something out. And it's all there in front of you. It's all the setups are there, and then you have these beautiful payoffs. This is how a story is supposed to be done, folks. It's the setups and the payoffs, and building these characters to a point where something happens, and it's well done in that regard. I was also incredibly impressed by the creature design. This thing's terrifying looking. It's new. It's similar but new. There's some really good effects used for this creature, and man, it is terrifying looking. So the terror in the kid's eyes is, well, yeah, I get it. Okay, so what else do I like about this movie? The music. Marco Beltrami is always awesome, and every time I see his name, I know I'm in for a treat musically. It's got everything. This movie's got great action, great horror, great suspense, great acting, great story, great screenplay, great direction. I'm greatly impressed by John Krasinski, and I can't wait to see what else this guy can do. Now, public service announcement: don't buy popcorn or nachos and go see A Quiet Place. Just fair warning: don't be that guy or girl that has loud food in A Quiet Place. Don't be Jay. I had popcorn. I didn't end up eating my popcorn because it's far too quiet of a movie for someone to be munching on something loud like that. So just fair warning: no popcorn, no nachos. Go see A Quiet Place. It is the sound of awesome. You're going to love it. Don't forget to like us and subscribe to us, of course. And below, give me your comments. I'd love to hear what you thought about it. And come back and let me know. As Curly Bill Brocious once said, well, bye.